This was a meeting at the Grand Modern Conference Centre in Birmingham. The Pakistan Foreign Minister, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, was a student in Britain, but this was the first time he'd visited Birmingham, which is home to a large part of the country's Pakistan community. The British Foreign Minister, Mr. David Miliband, introduced him to the community leaders from the city, including the Lord Mayor. This was the first part of a series of meetings which later included a question and answer session with young people. Mr. Miliband stressed the importance of visiting this community in the Midlands.
It's a huge honour and privilege and pleasure for me to be able to welcome my friend and my Foreign Minister colleague, Foreign Minister Qureshi, to Birmingham. And I say deliberately, not just to welcome him to Britain, but to welcome him to Birmingham. Because we've had really good meetings today in London. We've talked about the whole range of the relations between Britain and Pakistan. But of course, one of the most important parts, probably the most important part of our relationship, is not between governments, but between people. And the Pakistani diaspora in Britain is a huge part of our society.
And for Mahmood Qureshi, it was also the people who could reinforce the strong relationship between the two governments.
Relations are inadequate if they do not transcend the barriers of government and if they are not people-centric. And here in the United Kingdom, we have over 1 million, people who have Pakistani origin. So why not cultivate that? Why not develop that relationship? And you people can become the bridge between two governments, and you can play a very useful role.
And in a press conference, both ministers were asked about the threat of terrorism in Pakistan and the problem that support for the Taliban on the border with Afghanistan was posing for efforts to bring stability to Pakistan's neighbour.
We support the comprehensive approach, what the new government calls the multi-prong approach, economics, politics and security issues being addressed together. We've backed up that support with political statements, but also with a very large tranche of economic aid that was announced by Douglas Alexander when he visited Islamabad last month. So I would say we are united in our determination to recognise the danger that terrorism poses to the UK, but also to Pakistan. And we've just, in the meeting, just remembered the tragic death of Benazir Bhutto. That was terrorism striking at the heart of Pakistani society. And we need to make sure that we work together bilaterally. But we also need to recognise that we have shared interests on each side of the Afghan-Pakistan border. And we need to have an approach in Afghanistan as well as an approach in Pakistan that addresses these issues head-on.
The Pakistan Foreign Minister appealed for time to develop comprehensive policies for an action plan to deal with the menace of terrorism.
The government of Pakistan is not talking to, is not in dialogue with militants. We are talking to tribal elders, we are talking to elected representatives of FATA, and we are talking to the moderate element that wants government security and support. And the objective is to wean them away from the terrorist extremists. We will not capitulate, we will not compromise, and we will not have dialogue with terrorists. We are very clear. We will deal with them. We have a different strategy for them. But we are a political government, and we would want to engage the political element that does not believe in an armed struggle and does not believe in violence.
The new Pakistan Foreign Minister has already had talks in Washington and will be meeting the Secretary of State again at the end of the month. He recognised US concerns but was reassured by their understanding.